These are copper-colored Nagas found here. This was a copper-colored copper-on-copper war. More and more. You don't have to go crazy, boss. We don't have to go crazy. This Naga's over here slaying everything. This Naga's slaying everything. Leaving a path of destruction in this Naga's way, man. You want to play? Copper Color Khan's failure, man. You want to talk about high Amazon queens, man? You want to talk about Khalifa and them going to war with their husbands, joining their husbands against the Spaniards? Ain't that what the definition of an Amazon is? Whoa, man. Oh, man. Shout out to Real History WW. This man. Yamasi, man. Out to Yamasi, man. Over there putting that work in. Look at these Nagas, as Nagas can get in America, because you're the copper-colored races found here, boss. They didn't bring you from Africa. All of y'all, come on, man. Come on, man. There's so many of you here that you're the definition of an American. So when and how could they have brought so many of you over here? There had to be so many of us already here that we're the definition of Khan, which means priest in Hebrew. And your priesthood comes with a code. Khan, did you forget? Oh, you thought you was just Indian? You thought you was just Indian? Maybe you forgot you was an Indian superior, boss. The superior mem sauce. This has superior frequency, and it comes with superior code. Most high over everything. Rule number 1. No vanity on Hawa's name. Your breath, your security should not be vain. Because what's a vain breath? You want a vain breath? You want vain security, boss? Hey, man, we got your back. No, we don't. You want that type of security, man? I didn't think so. You don't want no vain breath, no vain security. You don't want no vain Hawa. So don't put Hawa's name in vain. Resting together, having a rest day to remember our Creator created this place for us. To bond with each other, our families, doing no work. You get your hustle on 6 days, you rest on the 7th. You think the hijack's gonna tell you to do that? No, you gotta fight the hijack for that. You know it makes sense, Managa. They just found us here. Found us here, man. Alright, man. Alright. But this is the image they giving us, these tainos, man. It's crazy. And watch this. Unclothe the indigenous peoples of the island of Haiti. Alright. Further in the background on the right-hand side, other tainos with arms raised and twisting bodies flee in fear from the Spanish ships anchored offshore. I mean, just imagine seeing these hijacks just pull up to your land, pull up to your shore, and put their whack-ass flag down, right? Because a tau in Hebrew means the mark, the sign, the covenant. Their covenant is not your covenant. Their sign is not your sign. Their mark is not your mark. So their tau can't be your tau. That's why it looks a little different. It looks more like a sword, right? It looks more like wartime, right? Your towel is simply 2 cross sticks. Their towel is like a sword, right? All right, man. Documenting America, Debrais copper plate engravings were among the first images that Europeans encountered about the people, places, and things of the Americas, even if he began making them almost a century after Columbus's initial voyage. In the engraving with Columbus on the shoreline, the barely clothed tainos resemble Greco-Roman. Come on, balls. Hijack City, man. Look at this, man. This is their art. This is their art. Don't flag me, YouTube. This is their art. This is your stuff. And look at this, man. Y'all made the indigenous Haitians look like Greco-Romans. This is ridiculous. This is insulting, man. Bringing their beautiful, imagine how beautiful these jewels and these pieces are, man. They're just like, this is what we got, please go. And they said, whoa, if you got this, you must have some more. You must have some more. There they go, man. They said it's supposed to be some Indians pouring liquid gold in the mouth of a Spaniard in 1594. You know how much gold you gotta have just to waste it on torture? You know what I'm saying? This is pure liquid gold. This is their torture against the Spaniards, man. Damn. I just want you to think how much gold you must have to be pouring pure liquid gold down the throat of a hijack when there's much more ways to get done what you need to get done without wasting all the gold. But you got so much gold, nobody's even tripping. And look at these Indians looking like dude from Simpsons, man, Burns, you know what I mean? Look at these guys, man. These supposed to be Tainos, man. This is ridiculous. This is pretty dope. The town of Sakota. And I mean, you know, I'll leave the link, you can check it out, man. But just look how beautiful these cornfields are. You know what I mean? And I'll let you meditate to it before we get to this Malcolm X drop. Only Drop Nation, we're going to be dropping some 432 temple bells, man, with some beautiful art, along with some Malcolm X, man. And we're going to take a nice little ride, man, listen to some Malcolm. This is just what we, you know, I can't make this up. And all praise to Wah, you know, for the swag frequency, man, that we are dropping this vibration in, man, because I can't make this up, man. My nigga, this ain't me, all right? But, man, we sure make this look good. Drop Nation, we make this look good. We make this investigation look good. And hey, out to my niggas checking out the Soulbone podcast. Just look out for much more, man. We're just going to have more and more conversations and include my niggas, you know what I'm saying? Make sure we are, you know, talking about the topics you enjoy, man, and having good conversation that's in your heart bone, man. So just, you know, look out for ways to be involved with the Soul Bone podcast. And to Water to Macans for supporting Joy World. Click the links below. Hey, hit up MHOE. Look out for the updates. My jig is going way up in the ether, man. And he's over there in that 9 spiral, man. So allow for my Five Eyes my Jacob, man. And look out for Yosef the Real's album dropping in hot. Makan is doing remixes, man. He's ready for the next. So look out for Yosef the Real, man. Comes right from the heart bone of Sakota, man. And that might be that's gonna be my debut album, man. I'm gonna call it Sakota, man. Y'all gonna remember this, man. This is dope. Just looking at these cornfields. Nagas doing Naga things, you know, dancing and chilling and eating, and look at these cornfields, man. Now I need you to appreciate this, man. This is pre-Monsanto, man. This is real maize, right? This is that real maize. Shout out Cootie Mayo. It's that real maize. And like, ain't this all a Naga want? All a Naga need? Like, your vision of being rich might be a fancy mansion with an elevator in it and all this stuff, right? But just walking and this just being your cornfield, this is just where you are gathering and doing your thizzle at. This ain't even their houses. This ain't even their cribs. I need you to appreciate this moment that they tried to capture in their artistic hijack depiction, and just appreciate, ain't this all a Naga need and want right now? Just fields and gardens of fresh food, man. You know they ain't breathing no hijack air. You know they ain't chemtrailing this place up. Man, you know they just free Nagas, man. Like, this this is one of our last glimpses of what freedom was looking like. And whatever reality of future that you have for yourself in mind, just I hope freedom is a part of it, man. Because I want you to have this again, my nugget. We want to have this again, man. You dig? We want to have this again, man. Theodore Debris' bird-eye view of a Native American village, Sakata, 1590. Native American village, man. They say a brief and true report of the Newfoundland of Virginia, man. Shout out to my Virginian noggins, man. Hey, don't you miss this? Don't you want this again, man? This is all. If you want it like I want it, then let's get it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying to get it in no chaos. I ain't saying to get it, without accountability. I'm saying, my nugget, you got to get in the frequency to form your reality. This is not no play. You got to believe in the frequency. How do you tune an entire tribe up? You teach them, man, not to harm each other, right? You teach them to, put their creator, their power, their great spirit, their great Ama Abba, mother, father, framer, shaper, Christians call her wisdom. Proverbs 8 said, man, you better be checking at my door. Understanding is, I am understanding. Power is mine. Proverbs 8. Mama speaks for herself, man. So the indigenous Nagas in the Popol Vuh called their great spirit the most frequently mentioned powers they mentioned was the framer and the shaper. Ama Abba, Hawa, fifth and the sixth letter of the Picto-Paleo-Hebrew. We can't make it up. It just fits. Ha, your mother, your breath, your revelation. Wa, your father, your security, your foundation. And after you get that, you get your food, you get your nourishment, you get your Zion, your Zion. And don't this look like Zion? Are we looking at Zion? Zani? Ain't this Zani, man? Let's get it, man. Let's get into this Malcolm X and see how much we can jump on here. And this is just like a thumbnail image, so I wish I had the one where they was like, actually filming it, but this is more the audio, so because of that, we're going to be taking a nice trip down our favorite Nile River Drift, man. So I'll start it off and then we'll transition to the Nile River Drift. Love to Jesse. Wow. Allow. Wow.
Here in the WBAI studios are Bayard Rustin, Executive Secretary of the War Resisters League, and Malcolm X, Minister of Mohammed's Temple of Islam in New York. Both of you gentlemen are working in your own ways for the welfare of the American Negro. And the first thing I'd like to ask you is if you would describe the purposes of your individual organizations and tell us something about the philosophies inherent in them. Mr. X.
Yes, sir, Mr. Donald. And I'm happy to be here today to represent the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to your audience. And as you know, Mr. Muhammad is the spiritual head of the fastest growing group of Muslims in the Western Hemisphere. And he perhaps is probably the greatest drawing card among the so-called Negro masses, more so than any other so-called Negro leader today. And proof of which, a year ago in Washington, D.C., he appeared at the Uline Arena and drew 10,000. And in New York at the St. Nicholas Arena, last year he drew 10,000. And this year, I think he drew another between 10 and 15,000. In Chicago, he drew 15,000. And I cite these things just to show you that as a man, no matter what people, whether they agree with him or disagree with him, they have to admit that the masses of the so-called Negroes are interested in hearing what he has to say. Probably in the past 2 years, he has become America's most talked about and most written about black men. And even at the present time, I'd say he's one of the most the most controversial topic, namely because he's having such miraculous success in getting his program over among the so-called Negro masses. If you ask me what it is, I can best tell you what it is by what he is credited with doing. The Time magazine last year, in an article about Mr. Muhammad, pointed out that he has successfully eliminated from among his followers the use of alcohol, which is one of the things that has destroyed our people here in America as a race. He has successfully eliminated dope addiction, profanity, excessive profanity, which actually stems from disrespect of self. He has successfully eliminated stealing and crime among his followers. He has, Time magazine also pointed out that he has, Mr. Muhammad has been successful in eliminating adultery and fornication and prostitution and making the black man respect his woman, something that has been characteristically absent among our men. And Time magazine also pointed out that among the Muslims who follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, juvenile delinquency has been eliminated. In the U.S. News and World Report, about a couple months later in '59, they pointed out that Mr. Muhammad was successful in making the so-called Negroes see the importance of an economic program that would, in fact, when you think of what Time magazine said, they were giving him credit for being probably one of the greatest moral reformers that has appeared among the so-called Negroes here in America yet. And when you tie in what the U.S. News and World Report magazine said concerning his success at getting the so-called Negroes to set up stores and factories and farms to feed ourselves, grow food for ourselves, factories to manufacture things for ourselves, and places of business to create jobs for ourselves. The point behind this particular phase of Mr. Muhammad's program is to make the so-called Negro economically independent, to keep him from having to embarrass the white man by demanding that the white man give him a job, when he can actually, Mr. Muhammad feels that our people can get together and pool our resources and our talents and whatnot and make jobs for ourselves. And lastly, I'd like to say that what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is teaching is not what we have been accused of, nationalism. Nationalism, the difference between being a Muslim and a nationalist, nationalism is the political approach or political solution to the problems that confront the so-called Negroes in America. The aim of the black nationalist is the same as the aim of the Muslim. The Muslim and the black nationalists have no differences in objective. We are pointing toward the same goal. But the difference is in method, method. The black nationalist, wherein he relies on a political solution to the problems that confront the so-called Negro, we as Muslims believe that the only solution to our problem is a religious approach. And this is why we stress the importance of a moral reformation.
Keeping the code. We're looking at this with a dragonfly perspective and seeing the similarities, seeing some of the things that, we might see differently, you know what I mean? But like you said, it's the same conclusion, you know what I'm saying? Naga's being free, right? Naga's, his vision, whether it's this or not, he ain't gonna be mad at it, you know what I'm saying? I think he sees this for his people too, right? I think in the end he sees freedom. The nationalists, like you said, would be working through politics and, trying to vote and pass laws and this and that. And how can we work within the system to change the system? And it might be a slow grind to change the system, but look at all the, victories we've had so far. Look how far we've come, man. We've got equal rights, right? So, but the religious flow, would be, our people got to be restored. Whether they talking about our code or they ain't talking about their code, we're still talking about a code. He's talking about moral principles. He went on with how Elijah Muhammad got, all these juvenile programs and all the good stuff they're doing, right? That's talking about community. That's talking about code, right? So no one can argue with code. Islam got to go with, by their code. Christians got to have a code, right? Police got a code. The streets got a code. Everyone got a code, right? No one can argue with code. The Creator got the oldest, most ancient code. So when it starts with Most High over everything, that's the first thing we gotta differentiate between each other. Okay, who's your Most High? Is your Most High the Creator of the earth and the heaven? You know what I'm saying? And is your Most High, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Do you consider your Most High, whatever other, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? Is it just your frequency, your vibration, your energy? What? Let's be clear. So we know we don't get crossed up in no interference path. We talk Most High, we talking framer and shaper. We're talking about the spark, you know what I'm saying, that created it all. You can't put that in a book. You can't write that and wrap it up and do a nice bold, present, a presentation. You're going to have to search for it. You're going to have to, unravel some things to get that spark. You're going to have to go through something dark to get that spark, man. Then you find yourself, right? And there you are. And there's Hawa. Hawa is within you. You don't have to go outside to get to Hawa. Hawa is your spark. But you have to find it. You have to seek it. You have to desire Hawa. You have to desire the frequency to commune with Hawa, to communicate. Frequency affects frequency. But what they didn't tell us is that if we ain't tuned to their frequency, we can't be affected by their frequency. So they do it through what? The food, right? The Monsanto. They take the cornfields, right? They have to tune us to their frequency. For their frequency to affect our frequency at all. And we have to accept these contracts. Accept what their version of freedom is looking like. But I'm pretty sure my bro Malcolm had a very similar view. And I'm sure this other brother does as well, this Bayard Rustin, man. So, they're in the fight, right? They're in the struggle. They're taking whatever arms they can, using the, philosophical ammunition, religious ammunition, you know what I'm saying? Civil, whatever they can use, you know what I'm saying? We cannot judge them for their place in the fight no more than we can judge our ancestors in their place for the Tecumseh, in the Tecumseh War and the Chickamauga Wars. We can't judge our ancestors for being on either side of any of these things. Some say slavery is a choice. Some say, hey, man, I survived so that you can tell this story, man. You want to call me a coward for not finding I survived so that you can tell this story. You can go back and forth. You can say, but if you would have fought, maybe we would have not even been in this situation. Who knows, man? But we're here. And it wasn't the cowardness of our ancestors, I'll tell you that much. It was our lack of hearkening, man, lack of listening, our stubbornness, man, our stiff-necked nature, that we thought we were greater than the Creator. We thought our laws and our ways trump the Creator's ways. We thought we could have our cake and eat it too. We could have our land and do whatever we want to do. Tell a teenager, hell no, you can't leave the house, at 11 o'clock at night. A teenager gonna say, but you got me in captivity. I'm a slave in this house. Come on, Dad. Come on, a badass teenager, you know what I'm saying? Someone that need to ask with, A good teenager, they gonna understand. That's because you raised them right? But that's how we act with the Creator. We say, what do you mean your laws? What do you mean you got rules? I don't want to be in this house. Get me out of here. I'm in captivity. I want to find some other power. I want to live with some other parents. And these parents say, hey, man, stay out as long as you want. Come in. I don't care, man. What do you want, man? I got everything. Those are the type of parents you want, huh? But what's the result? Let's go, man. We popping off, man. Shout out to Real Black One.
As a rule, the black nationalists will not talk to you about God or any religion or any kind of moral, uplifting of moral values. Whereas the Muslim, he stresses first to raise the moral standard of the so-called Negro. And by doing this, automatically, it tends to give him more dignity and self-respect, and it elevates his thinking to the point where he begins to think in terms of doing something for himself rather than to sit around and beg somebody else to share with him what they have amassed for themselves.
Keep the code.
So I would like to stress that Mr. Muhammad is not a politician. He doesn't believe that politics is the solution to the so-called Negro's problem. He says that the primary ingredient involved in our solution, it will take God. God himself has to have a hand in it, especially because the problem of the so-called Negro is so unique. His problem is different. The problem of the so-called Negro in America is different, perhaps, than the problem of any black people anywhere on this earth since the beginning of time. And so our entire approach is a religious approach. We believe that every condition that the Negro is in today was preordained, predestined, and prophesied. And we believe that we're living in the fulfillment of that prophecy today. We believe that our being here in America is in terms of biblical prophecy. We believe that the slave master's oppression of us is in line with biblical prophecy.
Now, why you think, as a Muslim, you gotta refer to, or, this has to be your reference, the Bible, right? Biblical prophecy. I'm just, hey, like I'm saying, we dragonfly perspective right now, man. We eat the walking in the sky. I'm just raising questions I got in my head. Maybe somebody else got them too. Hey, to the Khan Malcolm X, because we already know he's a Khan for real. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm just saying, as a religion or as a talking point, why not be the children of Israel unless someone knows that they're not those tribes? And so they say, all right, well, we need something. But your reference is biblical. Biblical Israel and biblical Egypt. And that the so-called black man has a very unique problem. And it has to do with her relationship with God or Hawa, right? It's a Hawa thing. Malcolm X knew that this was deeper. It had to do with the tribes of Israel. It had to do with our relationship with our Creator and us breaking our covenant. That's why he's saying what he just said, that this is a biblical thing. This is not even political, man. One more time, let's go.
Within what they have amassed for themselves. So I would like to stress that Mr. Muhammad is not a politician. He doesn't believe that politics is the solution to the so-called Negro's problem. He says that the primary ingredient involved in our solution, it will take God. God himself has to have a hand in it, especially because the problem of the so-called Negro is so unique. His problem is different. The problem of the so-called Negro in America is different, perhaps, than the problem of any black people anywhere on this earth since the beginning of time.
Whoa.
And so our entire approach is a religious approach. We believe that every condition that the Negro is in today was preordained, predestined, and prophesied. We believe that we're living in the fulfillment of that prophecy today. We believe that our being here in America is in terms of biblical prophecy. We believe that the slave master's oppression of us is in line with biblical prophecy. And we believe that all of the trouble that the slave master is having on this earth today, all over the world, is all in line with the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. We also believe that Mr. Muhammad's presence in America in the midst of the so-called Negroes and his reason for teaching what he's teaching exactly as he's teaching it is all in line with the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. So the one thing that I would like to stress is our program is strictly a religious program. Our solution is a religious solution. It's not a political one.
But Mr. X, does this involve the creation of a black state in America?
Yes, well, I answer you like this. It involves the creation of a black state for the black man is not in America, somewhere on this earth. If not somewhere abroad, then right here in America. But primarily it involves the acquisition of some land that the black man can call his own.
Whoa.
Here or somewhere else. If the powers that be don't want it here, then they should make it possible for it to be somewhere else. If they don't want it to be somewhere else, they should make it possible for it to be right here.
It does have some political characteristics then.
Any religion, with politics, then by politics you mean the freedom and the rights of the black man. Any religion that doesn't take into consideration that particular ingredient that involves the freedom of the black man is the wrong religion. But politics as such is not the solution. But the divine solution would...
Wow. Y'all getting this? I'm letting it play, but so Malcolm's head was on the land. Maybe it's going to help us answer some other questions with a dragon flat eye perspective. Malcolm's head was on the land. He wasn't pushing like Garvey to necessarily, be in Africa with it. He was with that because he, repeatedly keeps saying, even in this debate, that we just came from Africa. But these were just maybe the missing elements or the points that maybe, it just wasn't time yet for that type of revelation. He's looking at it just straight up like, yo, my people being oppressed, give us back some land, man. If not somewhere else, make it possible right here. He's talking about setting up Nagarville. And he's talking something like Sakota, right? Then we asked this question, is his head on the land? And he just answered it. Now, I like how this debater, Bayard, I like how he at least is approaching trying to corner Malcolm into saying that he's on some rebellion type shit, because Malcolm X is trying to say, man, this is a religion. We ain't on no, shoot 'em up, bang, bang, Black Panther, nothing, I'm saying? We just, this is a religion and yada, yada, yada. This is pre-Black Panther, man. So, but Bayard's like, well, will you be requiring some land, and how you gonna get that land if not some open ass rebellion? So he's trying to corner him in and saying that he's a part of a rebellious group willing to get the land by any means possible. And Malcolm can't really pivot out of that, because that is, at the end of the day, we want our shit back. You can call us rebellious all day long, but how you gonna call people rebellious that was already here? Come on, man. Hey, look, how you gonna call these niggas rebellious when they're protecting their wives and children? I'll wait. I sit here with the magic 432 hertz temple bells, man, and meditate on that. Because you want me to believe that I'm the rebel, not this jabroni on the horse, right? Not the hijack Indians that's fighting next to the invader, right? They're not the rebels. They're not rebelling against the code of not murdering their brothers. They're not the rebels, right? We're the rebels for fighting back. And if we gather in the streets today, oh no, there's a rebellion, boss. So we say, all right, let's do this real intelligent. Let's do this real vibrational. Let's be a part of the vibrational crossover. Let's cross over into this 432 together. Let's get 9 above the barrier together. Because once we do that, it's game, set, and match. You could do it the long, hard, grueling way. Indian war. Rest in power to our ancestors. But The wisdom of Solomon say, only to the unwise do they seem to die. Only to the unwise do they seem to die. In other words, Managa, you live forever. Hawa's not tripping on some history that you think involves slaughter and martyrism and genocide. Hawa said only to the unwise. Only to the unwise do they seem to die. Allow. So we're going to be wise and we're going to say, this is Nagaville. And we ain't dying. You know, we don't have no covenant with death. Wisdom of Solomon. We got receipts, man. Only to the unwise do they seem to die. Let's get the translation here. Chapter 3, Wisdom of Solomon. Pull it up. But the soul of the righteous are in the hand of Hawa. This is what we're talking about. This is what even Brother X is talking about when he's like, look, this is a movement that is connected with the Creator. Like, you know, only the Creator can bring knockers to their freedom, to their land. This ain't a political thing. You're going to have to give it up. But he didn't take it a step further and talk about what tribe these niggas is and that they are indigenous right here at home. He didn't bring it to the pure water frequency of the KTC Exodus 29 code. Not just the moral code. That's not enough, man. That's not enough frequency. You still ain't in 432 in these religions. You don't gotta be in no religion. We ain't asking you to be in no religion. We saying keep the code. That's all the Creator asks for you to rest on the seventh day, not go to church and get dressed up and try to impress anybody, man. Have a rest day. That's the Creator. But they don't give you that in no religion. They don't honor the Shabbat. They don't honor their framer and their shaper above. But the souls of the righteous, the code keepers, are in the hand of Hawa. And no torment will touch them. In the eyes of the foolish, they seem to have died. Only to the unwise do they seem to die. As it reads in another translation I got. This translation says, in the eyes of the foolish, they seem to have died. Their departure was considered a disaster. In the eyes of the foolish, they seem to have died. Their departure was considered a disaster, and their travel away from us ruin. But they are in peace. But they are in peace. Only to the unwise do they seem to have died. Shout out my Carolina niggas. Carolina niggas. So we talk the genocide, but really Hawa's like, look, they in peace. Alright? We're talking about the righteous. For even if in the sight of man they are punished, my naga, their hope is full of immortality, living forever. Not according to their time and their space, according to Hawa's spiral of life. Having borne a little chastening, They will receive great good, because Hawa tested them and found them worthy of himself. This is what they found here. Where milk and honey flow. Don't that sound biblical, man? When you talk about America. Y'all got the link. Y'all take y'all time to read this, man. Comb and cut all the hair short except for the locks, man. And they also leave on the bare places here and there small locks, such as art and sweeping brushes, and they are all in fine array. Yeah, you know, Nagas like to mix it up, man. A little hand-to-hand combat. Nagas love boxing. Hey, peace up, man. Big Buck Crawford, man. Earl dispense the truth dispense. Who y'all got, man? Who y'all got? Nagas love hand-to-hand. That's Nagaville. Hey, look out for Nagaville boxing. Conclave. Remember what Benjamin Franklin said. They can't acquire our complexion. Right? Land is an opportunity. We're talking about Observations of Mankind, 1751. Don't Germanize us, because we know the Germans were swarthy. Yeah. It's everybody swarthy. Yeah, man. All of Asia. The number of white people is proportionally very small. But now it's the majority and we're the minority. All Africa is black or tawny. What's tawny? Well, swarthy is dark complexion black. Okay, that's swarthy. Swarthy and tawny. Tawny is darkly brown. Darkly brown, like an olive, is also darkly brown. So when they say tawny, they're talking dark, my nugget. When they say tawny, they're talking darkly brown. We're talking copper-colored knockers. Copper-colored knockers. Brought here, boss. No, boss. Found here, boss. By the swarthy Europeans, because the Europeans are also swarthy, boss. All of Africa is black or tawny. Asia, tawny. Darkly brown. America, except for the newcomers, America is wholly so. America's wholly tawny, brown, darkly brown. Don't play with us with this tawny business, man. Talking grandma's penny, copper colored nugget. Brought here, boss. Found here, boss. Copper colored nugget. You're the definition of an American. America's dark brown copper colored nuggets. It says it here. It says it here. Hey, they say it with me, boss. Body bag for the illusion. Let's go. Back to Malcolm X. I just want you to know, Europe is also darkly brown, copper colored. And in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, the French, the Russians, let's slow it down. The Spaniards that came over here are swarthy. Swarthy? Yeah, boss. Yeah, boss. Black. The Spaniards are black. The Portuguese are black. Shaking all this shit up, right? Shaking the whole board up, right? Because even if you said you came from a Spaniard, you still must mean black, right? So you can't even hide behind the Spaniard titles. You're not a Spaniard. You're not black. You're not Portuguese. You're not Europe. You're not Europe. That's what we're saying. Wait, I'm sorry. We're not saying it. Benjamin Franklin's saying it. Oh, good Benji saying this. The Spaniards are black, swarthy, right? The Italians are black. The French, they black too. All of Russia, all that Russia, which is pretty much all the Asia on the current map, all that Russia is black. That's why they got the Black Sea. Swedes, that means the whole board is black. So what these people talking about? They scrambling to try to get their genealogies on your soil. Or they're trying to get that ambergris dragon oil so they can live forever and eat our dragons in Western Europe. The Spaniards are black. The Italians are black. The French are black. Eating our dragons. Black, wicked, evil, dark. Generally of what we call a swarthy, black complexion. And the only principal body of white people on the face of the earth are the English folks, the Saxons. I don't know if we can give you Isaac's sons, who you call Saxons. Isaac's sons, who you call Saxons. Isaac's sons, Saxons, Isaac's sons. The English, I don't know if we can, I don't know. But you want to clear America of its woods? I think you want to cut down the trees, man. You want to exclude all blacks and tawnies, man. All the blacks. And keep your increasing lovely white going. I think you want Hijack City, but I can't give it to you, man. Nah, man. Nah, we gonna fire dance around here, Bo. I might have to get some fire dance going just for you, cause you over here playing with it now. Back to the Malcolm X debate.
Would have to have that particular ingredient in it. You can call it politics if you want, but I wouldn't call bread salt. It has salt in it. Salt is one of the ingredients. Yeast is one of the ingredients. Flour is one of the ingredients. And the overall problem of the so-called Negro in America is not a political problem as such. It's an economic problem. It's a social problem. It's a mental problem. It's a moral problem. And it's a spiritual problem. So we need a solution that doesn't deal with politics alone. What good does it do a man to be politically free and at the same time be economically dependent upon the man who gave him the so-called political independence? Well, he's still a slave. So we feel that since all of these ingredients are involved, only God himself can give a solution that will solve the whole thing. And this is the solution that we feel the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is teaching among the so-called Negroes here in America. Mr. Ruskin, we hear from you.
I am very happy to be here and particularly anxious that Malcolm X and I should clarify some of these questions which he has brought up in my mind. I would like to state very simply what it is that I believe and feel. I believe that the great majority of the Negro people, black people in this country, are not seeking anything from anyone. They are seeking to become full-fledged citizens. Their ancestors have toiled in this country.
Chester Angle be citizens of the corporation. You know, they put people that look just like us, man, to spread the same propagandas. Now, maybe that's his way of saying, hey, man, don't run out the burning building. Stay here in the burning building, man. be one with the burning building, be a citizen. But I want to play this because this was damn near 65 years ago, 63 years ago. And how has the perspective of Nagas changed? You know, it's like we could watch the space launch and now we're like, damn, did we believe that? But we could sit back and watch these debates and be like, were we really just thinking that it had to be this or that? Did we not have any Dragonfly perspective? He wants citizenship and he wants some moral flow, but it's not the Pure Water 9 code. It has to do with the tenets of his particular religion, which carries a lot of good in it, because they always gonna put a lot of good with something that, you know, at the end of the day, it's not gonna be giving you a direct link, a direct source bridge to the creator directly. Because if you wanted to link to the creator directly, you would just keep the code. You wouldn't do it through no other tribe's eyes. The tribes of Israel that he references in the biblical, you know, Exodus and all this, the biblical prophecies, these tribes have a personal relationship with the creator, Hawa. They didn't have to go outside the tribe to the Moabites and to Islam and to Christianity. They didn't have to convert. They are the children of Hasharah. They are the Khans. They keep the code. They keep the laws, the statutes, the commandments. They don't keep your religion. See it through your prophet's eyes. We didn't have a prophet outside of the house of Jacob. What do you say? We got Ezekiel in them. We got Daniel in them popping up. We got Joshua. We got Moshe. What do you mean? We got King David. We didn't need to go outside the house of Israel to get these type of inspirations. Only other tribes that know they're not within this particular tent have to bring in their God and have a moral code that's similar. It's Jewish. It's not Judah. Now we can see it with a dragon flit eye perspective.
And contributed greatly to it. The United States belongs to no particular people because of race, color, or creed. People
Back it up.
Become full-fledged citizens. Their ancestors have toiled in this country and contributed greatly to it. The United States belongs to no particular people because of race, color, or creed. People of color.
Then who were the copper color races found here, boss? They carry the title America. Who are these people found here by the hijack? You want us to believe this place don't belong to nobody? And Columbus is writing in his own manifestos, he's coming to conquer the holy city of Mount Zion. That belongs to people. Who does Zion belong to? Yahweh. Anything to do with Israel? Anything to do with Israelites? But this is the new agenda they pushing. America don't belong to nobody, boss. When you say that, you just sign it over to the hijack. Forget the Chickamauga Wars. It's more and more.
Country are not seeking anything from anyone. They are seeking to become full-fledged citizens. Their ancestors have toiled in this country and contributed greatly to it. the United States belongs to no particular people because of race, color, or creed. People have come from many parts of the world to construct it. And it is my view that the great majority of Negroes take as their key word, and the great number of Negro leaders, the term integrate, which means that, rightly or wrongly, they choose to become an integral part of the United States. I believe that we should work politically to the degree that that is possible, but I also believe that, and through the course, but I believe that at the moment we have reached that point where the justice and freedom for the Negro people will come about largely because they, with a sense of dignity and pride, organize themselves to demand to become an integral part of all the institutions. And thus, things as the Montgomery protest, the Silver City movement, and the effort which some of us are now making in regard to elections, where we do not honestly feel that either of the major political parties can solve the problem as they are now constructed. We are doing those things by direct action, which we feel will splinter the existing political parties, cause a political realignment in which...
I mean, ain't this the exact same play today? This is why I want to watch it 60-some years later. You got half the population, they just say vote, vote, vote. The vote's going to, you got to at least participate in the system. You got to, citizen, or they'll say, hey, go deeper, man. UCC, you got to play the system this way, that way. There's other ways to go. All these ways. At the end of the day, none of that's going to save you. Brother, you got to save yourself. Do cool. Yeah, I believe that, man. You got to save yourself by keeping the code. KTC. Just like you plant a garden, the garden can't grow without water. That's part of the code. We need water. You need to listen. We need the frequency up. On one end, you got this debate of integrate. Then you got the other side that say separate.
Freedom and justice for all people, including Negroes, can be achieved. Now, this is not a unique position, and certainly, while a controversial one, not so controversial that which Malcolm X puts before us. And I should like, therefore, to ask him this question. It would seem to me that the logic of your position, really, is to say to Negroes, or black people in this country, we ought to migrate. And set up somewhere in Africa a state in which men are free to follow a particular religious ideal, because it seems to me ultimately this is where you have to come out. I don't see how this escapes as being the logic of your position. You say...
So he's cornering him and saying, look, whatever you're saying about this separate stuff, be careful, because separate ends of a separation. You're going to separate and be... And Brother X already said, hey, you're going to give us land here, they're going to give us land there. And he's like, yeah, that's going to be your only play. And how you going to get that? If they don't just break you off a piece of land, are you going to take it by force? Now you sort of mark them as this Tecumseh. Everyone's trying to avoid being at Tecumseh, right? Because that means it's up, right? It's up. Tecumseh, it was up. Get these hijacks off the land. Let's band together. Let's be hijack free. It's up, right? Everybody else is all right. I'm gonna go the political route. I'm gonna go the religious route. No one's tried the cold route, so we going cold. Right now, right? We got families, we all just want the best. And if we don't get anything else, if we never prove that the Creator is real to you or exists for you, if we never get complete freedom for all so-called black people across Nagaville, my Naga, you know what? We got a lot more Nagas on their land, building land. We got a lot more Nagas in code than have ever been in a long time. And that's all praise Hawa. That's all praise the Creator. That's our purpose. No one said we was going to, not ruffle any feathers or be some level of perfection. But what we did do was light or continue to, turn that spark into a flame, into a dragon fire, the dragon flame. The code, the pure code, the 9 code, what they call the 10 Commandments, man. No religion is bringing that on us. They just tweaking it. When you're in that frequency, Hawa does the rest. You get your land back by default, but we haven't tried that. When's the last time you seen a community all throughout South Central LA, Inglewood, Compton, Watts, Long Beach, everybody KTC? Wait. No, I just hear about the score all the time. I'm just hearing about funerals, you know what I'm saying? I'm just hearing about the heartbreak. And not just in LA, we're talking all throughout Cali, man, all throughout the Bay, everywhere, man. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere, man. New York, Chicago, everywhere. Austin, Houston, Dallas, everywhere. Arkansas, everywhere. Boss, Carolinas, same thing, right? Come on, boss. Texas, everywhere, man. Seattle, everywhere. I'm just, popping off. Canada, everywhere. Mexico. What communities are truly just being that basic, that simple? Is it that easy, boss? No one's doing it. Now you're hearing about communities that are doing it. They don't have to call themselves Drop Nation. They don't have to say this is this and we're following that. We never asked for that. We just here to turn a spark into a flame with frequency. Because in hindsight, 60-some years later, which direction worked? We know COINTELPRO is active. We know it's active to this day. We know infiltration is what they do. But one, on the right side, on the right and the left, on the right side, he's talking about just being a citizen and doing it the peaceful way. Did that work? This is what Brother X is saying. Hey, look, 60 years from now, you're still going to be asking, did this work? We got Obama. Did that work? Brother X, he's like, hey, man, keep the moral code, okay? With the Prophet Muhammad. Did that work? Did the Prophet Muhammad work in the last 60 years? Did Jesus work in the last 60 years? Or has it gotten worse? I'm just asking, has it gotten worse? But what didn't we try? To spread this code, this vibration, to put the most out of everything, not going through JC, Muhammad, or none of that. Just the Creator, my Naga. Slow down. Just the Creator, just Hawa. And through that, we on our investigation. We're searching nobility. We're talking Dawi. But we had to drop all idols and connect directly with our source, KTC, Hosea 3. You dig? With a dragonfly perspective.
Say that perhaps a state will be set up here, but on the other hand, your attitude is if you're not wanted, you don't want to be where you're not wanted. So why isn't the logic of your position to go to the heart of the matter and take the Garvey position?
Get out of
here. Most return to Africa.
Go to Africa.
Well, Mr. Reston, number one, when you speak of us striving here to become full-fledged citizens, or as they say, first-class citizens. Number one, most of the Negro leaders, the so-called Negro leaders, they have gotten the Negro masses to think in terms of second-class citizenship, which there is no such thing. We who follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad look upon a man as either a citizen or he's not a citizen. He's not a citizen by degrees. He's a citizen or he's not a citizen. And as long as the black man in America is not recognized as a first-class citizen, we don't feel that we are citizens at all. No other people in America.
Why we gotta be recognized by the hijack? See, no one's taking this stance, like taking a step out the matrix and saying, why we gotta be recognized by the hijack? As a first, second, third, we know we the first people. Tecum say, like, just get off my land. No one's just going right to the get off my lands of things. And I'm saying this is recent. In 1800s, we were still saying get off my land. 1900s, you know, we're talking about being from Africa.
Placed in a second-class citizenship category. People can come here from Hungary, which is a communist country, and be incorporated or integrated into the American way of life overnight. They don't have to come.
And how you gonna get them off your land? Drop? What do you mean? Are you a rebel? What do you mean hijack? Is the hijack ever? When I say that, you know what I mean? People roll their eyes and be like, man, hijack ain't never gonna give you your land back. I'm not asking the hijack to get my land back. I'm not changing my statuses and their systems and doing a new contract with these hijacks. Look, man, you consider me sovereign or not sovereign or UCC anything, but I know who I am. Do you? Do you know who you are? Ain't President John looking for citizenships and acceptance? You think Elijah coming back looking for their acceptance, man? He left in a world with a dragon fire, man. You think he's looking for citizenships, man? The Tishbite, we talking demon names, man? Nah. I'm playing for keeps, boss. You playing for keeps. We hitting this hijack to the body. They can't hide their body. We over here tearing their ribs up right now. They wish we just knock them out. Nah, they gonna get this work. They gonna get this work. We don't need your acceptance. Time's up.
To come in as third class, second class, or any some other kind of class citizen. The only man that's placed in this category is this so-called Negro who has sat around and begged the white man to accept him as an integral part of his particular political setup and whatnot. Now, we feel that if after 100 years since Lincoln issued the so-called Emancipation Proclamation, if the black man here is still not recognized as a first-class citizen, which means free, then we don't feel that what Lincoln did actually set the so-called Negro free in the first place. Not freedom in its full sense of the word. An example. If you have a unique problem in that if the black man in Nigeria, for instance, strives against his oppressor to gain his freedom, once he gains that freedom, the oppressor leaves. But the black man in Nigeria is already at home. He has his own country. If the black man in India is striving against his oppressor for freedom, once his oppressor, the colonizer, gives him that freedom, the colonizer leaves, the oppressor leaves, but the slave or the ex-slave is already at home. This is the... now, this is all well and good, but you're not...
let him work. He's cooking. I know he was going to... You see where he was going. But if the nigga in America, you know, wants his freedom, he's not at home, well, that's where you're wrong. See? 60 years later, with a dragonfly perspective, respectfully speaking, that's where you're wrong. You are as at home as it gets, Brother X. Brother X, you can't be no more home. Because you the definition, copper colored tie, of an America. They tried to switch you out with modern UC people. Nah, bruh. I'm talking you, see? Brother X, you didn't come from Africa, Brother X. Nah, boss, we're talking UC's boss. Oh, look at this young black boy, right? You just looking at him, he's a young black boy. Almost look like a little Webster, right? 1734, painting of James Oglethorpe presenting Yamacraw Indians to the Georgia trustees in London. Well, you know, Georgia on my mind. Ray Charles, man, rest in power. This is an Indian. Look at his hands. Look at your hands. This is a nigga. A little young nigga. AKA Indian, AKA Negro, AKA Negoose. Because a nigga is a Negoose. A Negoose is a king. It's a young king, a young Naga, a young dragon king. Presented to the high chick. And we know this is probably an iconoclasm. Because if you talk London, you talking Europe, and you still talking swarthy. So imagine this young little black boy being presented to a black man. And then you see clearly. Brother X, you didn't just get over here from Africa. This little black boy ain't from Africa. Brother X, respectfully. Brother X. This is a depiction, right, of some more copper colored car. More copper colored. Brother X, you didn't just get over here from Africa, Brother X. So I know where you was going, but Brother X, they want us to be this small, looking up at their great, divine goddess, right? Their power. Their goddess, their giantess goddess that won them the war. Now, who would this be in Greek mythology? Athena, one of them. Sybil. Semiramis. She became the emblem of America, but my Naga, who is the emblem of America? Black California tribes, now we're talking Khalifa, and she's still like, damn, boss. Because I'm the copper colored Naga found here. I'm the emblem of America. I'm the emblem of America. She's like, Brother X. Damn. Brother X, I was just found here, boss. I'm the copper. I'm fighting against the Spaniards, and I was just found here. Brother X, I'm the emblem of America. I'm the America. I'm the America. Brought here, found here, boss. Found here. Brother X. Don't forget me, Brother X. Let's go.
Answering my question.
I'm answering your question. If the black man in Kenya, the same way, if he rebels.
He just wants him to answer the question. Hey, look, man, are you trying to just separate? And how you going to get that separation? That means you're going to have a military and everything. Han Rebel. He's playing chess right there. This is a high-stakes chess game. Let's go.
Against the British oppressor and gain history within the oppressor league. Now, the black man in America's position is unique in that he begs for freedom or demands for freedom, but once he gets this so-called freedom, he's still 9,000 miles away from that which he can call home. So he has a problem that's different than the problems of other people all over who have been striving.
He's not 9,000 miles away from home, Brother X. You already home. This is an emblem of America. But nah. It's a Virginia Nagas, Brother X. You remember Virginia? This is Virginia too. This is your dream, right? Martin Luther King had a dream. This is your dream. Freedom. You want America to give you a few states? Come on, boss. That's the old play. That's what it was. Treaties say, hey, you can have Oklahoma, you can have this, you can have that. And they just keep coming and taking everything. You can't even have no cornfield without registering it with the government. You can't even have a garden no more, man. They don't want you eating nothing. That's Virginia. This is Virginia. Come on, Brother X. You ain't 9,000 miles away from Africa. Brother X, this is Africa, Brother X. This is Ethiopia, Brother X. This is India Superior, Brother X. Asia Major, Brother X. Come on, Brother X. Brother X. Look at these Nagas, Brother X. On their maps. We're talking America, 1735. New York City. Brother X. Recon the Seneca tribes, Brother X. Come on, man. I can't make this up. You didn't come from Africa. You were just found here. They call you black because that's a byword, because it don't come with no land. Don't come with no country, Brother X. All these Nagas know where they from. Last time that I checked. Let's go. It's a few more minutes.
For free. And we're over there, they can use the passive approach, which is sit down or sit in or rebel in that way. When you have in India, like Gandhi, where they had 300 or 400 million black people striving against a couple 100,000 white oppressors, then passiveness worked, because all they had to do is stop, sit down. It's like an elephant sitting on a mouse or something. But here they are the majority and the oppressor is the minority. Here in America, you got the black man is the minority. And when you call yourself sitting down on the white man, all he has to do is let you sit. He can get someone else to run his factory or whatever else he wants to do. But to sit there and use this so-called passive approach, we don't think it will work, because we don't find any parallel. We don't find, for instance, anyone being encouraged to seek freedom in a passive way other than the so-called Negro here in America. Many of the whites who pose as liberals and act as advisors for those tell them that be passive, be peaceful, turn the other cheek. But these same whites who encourage the so-called Negro to use the passive approach have never advocated a passive approach to throw off the yoke of bondage to any white groups of people who are in bondage. When they think of the whites in Eastern Europe who are under the yoke, the Russian yoke, they don't tell them to be passive in their resistance. They feed them ammunition. They feed them guns. They make heroes out of the freedom fighters from Hungary. They make them great heroes. But when it comes to a black man, be he in Asia or Africa or in America, if he becomes militant in his resistance against oppression, then immediately he's classified as a fanatic. But if it's a white man or a white group or someone in a white country that's trying to throw off bondage, the propagandists label that one as a hero, and they label the dark people who are trying to resist this oppression, no matter what kind of resistance it is, they label them as fanatics, as racists, as extremists, or as rebels. So what it does, it makes a black man in America who would like to fight for his freedom or take a militant, uncompromising stand, it makes him reluctant or afraid to take that stand for fear that he'll place himself in this particular category. And I would like to say this, and also in answer to your question, that it is not the so-called this kind of movement and that kind of movement in America that's causing the white man to give an inch, and that's all he's giving is an inch. It's the pressure that the white man is under today from the outside world. He is not telling you and me that we might be integrated into his particular educational system or economic system 10 years from now. He's not promising it this year, 10 years from now or 20 years from now or even 50 years from now, because he loves us. But he'll tell you every day. You listen to some of these political speeches. They're catering somewhat to you and me, only because they are in a position where they are forced to try and impress and gain the friendship or the sympathy of the African nations that are getting their independence. The white man today is
just like they faked it on the Indians, the same play.
Posing as the leader of the so-called free world. And the only way he can be accepted as the leader of the so-called free world is to be accepted by the majority of the peoples on this earth, the majority of whom are non-white people. And they measure him by how he treats the non-white people here in America. And to impress them, he stands up and talks this old integration talk, which is hypocrisy. Not because he's going to integrate you and me, because we'll still...
He mentioned rebel, and anyone, even wanting to vocally stand up, against, whether we're talking the Tenderoni, we get muzzled, now they come out with some new policies. We can't talk nothing Tenderonis because they got experts and they yada yada, and there's all these new laws and all this stuff. And they keep saying rebel. He said rebel, rebel, right? And remember, we're just talking American, and since the American is the copper color tribes, then what is anti-American? Anti-American, opposed to America, which is the copper color races found here, or to the true interest or government of United States, right? So this is just like they put in there, caveat, copper color races found here, or born here, successors of the Europeans born here. They had to put something else in, right? So instead of just being opposed to America, which is copper color right? Now it's opposed to the government. Don't be anti-American, or else you're opposed to this new government called the United States Corporation. Opposed to the revolution. You see that? So they were revolutionaries, but if we have a revolutionary like Toussaint Louverture, that's enemy number one. We talk about Black Panther, that's enemy number one. But now we talk about Malcolm X, enemy number one, right? Because now they're rebels because they're against the interests of the government. You're anti-American. But they're anti-original American. They're opposed to the copper color races found here. The so-called Indians, right? And India superior, boss. So this is when it gets real conjecture, whose interests? Whose interests? Whose perspective? Whose vision? Whose peace? We want peace. The hijack peace will never be your peace, because their version of peace is keeping their foot on your neck. Your version of shalom is having the hijack in check. Hijack having peace and you having shalom can't exist simultaneously. Somebody got to give it up. That's why you need your frequency, you need your source, you need your power, because they're opposed to your power. But now they make up some anti-American phrase that you're opposed to their interest, their government, their unity, because they're confederate against us. Are they opposed to the revolution? Don't be anti-American, Hijack City. Are you opposed to the revolution? Are you opposed to the revolutionary in America? We can't be enemy. That makes you anti-American. You oppose to the revolution in America. Whose interests? It's very objective, right? Let's go.
Will still be begging 100 years from now, but to impress our brothers in Africa and Asia, I don't think that he's going to be successful at it.
So am I to take it that what you are saying is that you are really opposed to integration because you don't think it's meaningful and cannot work? Therefore, I come back to my question. Now, you said a great deal about nonviolence, which we should get into, and you've implied a certain number of economic things, but I have to get first your basic position clear in my mind. Otherwise, I don't think the rest of the discussion can be meaningful. You have to answer for me clearly the question as to whether what you ultimately have to see as a logical position is leaving the United States. If for the next 200 years Negroes are not going to be citizens by your definition, why isn't it logical then for Mr. your leader to say, let's just find a piece of territory somewhere and go to it? Because either you are advocating the continuation of slavery, if that isn't logical, because you say you can get it by the methods which I'm advocating, which is the slow, grinding process of integration. Now, I want to know where you stand on that, because I can't see other things clearly unless I see this.
I'll try and make it as clear as I can. If by integration, we believe that integration is hypocrisy. If you were going to use the word brotherhood, that's another thing. We don't believe in integration, but we do believe in brotherhood. Integration...
But do you believe brotherhood is possible here?
If anytime, sir, you have to pass a law that will make the white man accept you into his society, that's not brotherhood, that's hypocrisy. If a man holds a gun on you to make you put your arm around me and pretend that you love me, that's not brotherhood, that's hypocrisy. And if America, if this country has to pass laws to make the white people accept us into their educational system, and has to pass laws to make the white people accept us into into better housing in their neighborhoods, then what that is, that's the government is holding a gun on the white man and making him pretend that he wants you and me to sit beside him. That is hypocrisy. The government is forcing the white man in America to become a race of hypocrites. Now, if the white man, with no laws passed whatsoever, would accept the black man into his school, would accept the black man into his neighborhood, would accept the black man into his social system, economic system, and political system without laws having to be passed, then we would go for that. We would say that that's brotherhood, that's voluntarily.
Do you think that's going to happen?
Why, your common sense tells you, sir, that it's not going to happen.
Then, if you cannot do this through the constitutional methods of going in courts, of having laws, which I call integration, and if you cannot do it by the spirit which you call brotherhood, then what do you see as the future for black people here, and why should they stay?
Sir, the future for the black man in America as we've been taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, since you can see, and any intelligent person can see, that the white man is just not going to share his wealth with his ex-slave, or share his house with his ex-slave, or share his fields with his ex-slave, if the slave keeps pressing him. Sooner or later, there has to be a showdown. If the white man, the slave master, does not want the ex-slave in his house, then he has to let that slave go for himself and find a house for himself. Now, Mr. Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, our leader and teacher, teaches us this, that God has taught him that the only solution for the slave and the slave master is separation.
So then you do believe in separation.
We absolutely believe in separation. We believe that separation is divine.
All right. Now, if there is to be divine separation, are you people being logical? Are you saying then we ought to take over, let us say, an area of the United States which is...
I see. Now they try to get into like a domestic, what they call TERROR situation, right? Oh, I don't know if y'all heard about this whole Cop City thing. Where's it at, man? Where's it at? It's Cop City, man. Man. I just looked at this clip, man, off the IG. You know what I mean, on the feed. But yeah, you got this whole Cop City. I think it's Atlanta. I think it's Atlanta, man. It's like 60 to 100 million they putting on Cop City, specifically the train in this domestic TERROR, which is really against the same NIGGER, right? Because they put the hard R on it. What do y'all need 100 million to make a place called Cop City? What are y'all gonna put in this place? You don't just put $100 million and not have people trapped up in this place, right? Who's gonna live in Cop City to train for domestic situations? A domestic situation is us as a people, as a tribe, being revolutionary. Don't be anti-American. I mean, against anyone taking our land, our rights, our water, basic stuff, destroying our crops. We're under attack. We're under an invasion. We're at war because you came over here killing and stealing against our code, against the Creator's law, code. What recompense can you give to the Creator? What do you mean? What are we gonna do? What's the Creator? Do you think Hijaz could just, okay, since people want to bring the Creator out of the equation, which is impossible because you're talking about energy, frequency, and vibration, but you want to bring it out the equation. But not. I mean, what happens, man? When you find yourself in a situation that you got no laws, all you have is the fact that you want to be free, right? You want to grow food, you want to not be messed with. Has there ever been a time in Hijack City where there's been a permanent invasion? Which empire? Pointed out. Egypt, Rome, Atlantis, like what? Who has been allowed by the Creator to invade sovereign land permanently? It's never happened, boss. You want us to believe in a future that's never ever happened before. That's Hijack City. You think you can invade us permanently, even without a doctrine, even without someone that you want to call Creator? That's never happened before. You want us to believe in the impossible, that you can come over here and 200 years later it's just la-di-da-di. Nobody's going to stand up for their parents, for their grandparents, for their ancestors, for their children. You think you invaded some sucker Tony Jack, some straight up suckers, man. Now you invaded some stand tall knockers, some 9 code knockers. And our power comes from our source. All you did was wake up a sleeping dragon and tap us all back in because of your greed to try to kill and steal and take everything. Papal Bull, Doom Diversus, 1452. Take all movable goods. Because your plan was to take it all, you got greedy and you woke up a sleeping naga. Now we'll never be out of code again. Now we gotta turn around and say, Allah Hawa, you are Hawa. In the Bible they say, translate, I am the Lord. You will say I am the Lord. You will say I am Hawa. I am your breath. I am your security. I am your Ama Abba. I am your frame and your shaper. And you are my seed. You are my children. You are mine. I am yours and you are mine. We are family. We're a house. You want to go at it alone? How much longer you need to figure this out? The streets are horrible. You might want to get your butt in the house and stay in the house and make sure you're in the house before 10:30. No, mama, I don't want to be in captivity in your house. All right, go outside. Go ahead. You're going to come crying back. You see what's out there in these mean streets in Hijack City. False gods, false idols, killing, stealing, no morals. Parasites want to take everything. These are serpents. These are alchemical serpents. You know what you're going up against? You need your code. You need your community. You need your unity, which is your greatest weapon. Is that rebel talk? Is that just some high-speed vernacular, man? Or is that the truth? How are you going to be unified outside the code? Everybody needs a code to unify. Police departments, streets, everybody needs a code to unify. You go in any martial arts gym, dojo, there's a code. There's a way that you show respect or get up out of there. You don't need to learn this stuff, right? Same thing in Drop Nation. Don't come over here with your wing wham. There's an order. There's a flow. You come over here just thinking, you can, apply your changes. Nah, man, this ain't for you. We keeping the code, not your version of the code. We keeping Hawa's code. If I go in your house, there's a code. I can't walk in with my shoes on, start jumping on the couch. I'm sure you consider that disrespect. Drop. I didn't have it written on the door, on the outside of the door, man, but dang, that's kind of disrespectful. So we coming back home in order with respect to Hawa. Allah Hawa.
This is predominantly Negro and send more and more in until we control it, or you're being logical by saying let's get outside of you.
I think both is logical. It's logical when you find that you can't get along with a man in peace,
right,
to set up house somewhere else. Now,
so to them, separation is just us being rebels and crazy people. We just don't we don't function with hijacks that's invading us. Does that make sense? But no, America's a melting pot. You black people can't have America. All types of other people are here from the Atlantean days. Even the dogheads claim it as their home. Do the dogheads have a birthright here? Don't tell me how far back your parents go in America. I don't want to see your genealogies. I want to know if your tribe, your seed, has a birthright here in Hawa's eyes. I don't want to hear about how good you think you are, how much you can't help it, how much you love being everywhere you are in America. Do you have inheritance? Is it yours by divine order, by true lot? Is it your lot? Even in the streets, you know you can't. A Compton nugget knows when he's in Long Beach, that's not his lot. That's not his territory. A Pasadena nigga knows when he's in, San Diego, that's not his lot, right? A San Diego nugget knows when he's in New York City, that's not his lot. So when did the rules change that you can just come over here and take a lot and say it's your lot? And now America don't belong to nobody. That mentality is why you're not fighting for it. You just want to be a citizen because you don't even think you belong here. And neither of these niggas think they belong here. And that's a key ingredient to this, equation, this elemental equation here. If they both felt that they were Indians, right, indigenous, found here, copper-colored cars, they would know what they were fighting for. Not to be political, not to be religious, but to be tribal.
Now, when we say that, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that God has declared that the black man in America must have some land of his own, that means he must have some land of his own.
Okay.
The land doesn't have to be in Asia. The land doesn't have to be in Africa. The land doesn't have to be in Canada. The land can be anywhere. And if right here in America, since you say we've been such good workers and faithful citizens, I'd rather say faithful servants, we haven't received any payment for our labor. It would only be just if the master, if his intention is good, since he knows he's not going to bring about this integration, the best thing for him to do is let us have some of these states.
He is thinking about land. And I like how he did it. He said, look, man, it might as well be right here. Same place you took it. Now let's talk about that. And on the other side, Bayard Rustin, he's like, got him. Now, how you gonna get them states, boss? You gonna be a rebel? You gonna be a revolutionary, Malcolm? Or are you gonna be a problem for the government that I'm trying so hard to integrate into Brother X? Brother X, look, man, it's gonna be divine, right? But with divinity comes code. And Exodus 20 got us in code, and he's quoting the Bible. He's bringing the Bible in for references, so you can't count Exodus 20 if you bring it up Egypt and the Israelites. You got to bring up Exodus 20 if we're talking Exodus. Exodus 20 say what? No power before your power. If you're talking Hebrews, and you're talking about the Hebrew power. Stop skipping around the Hebrew power to get to your religion. No vanity on Hawa's name. Keep your Shabbat. Rest every seventh day. Sign up, right? No killing. No murdering your brothers, your sisters. No thievery from your house, man. From your brothers and sisters. No covetous. No jealousies, man. Honoring your frame and your shaper above is necessary. No adultery, no mixing it in with low frequencies, man. Don't mix it in with these hijacks, man. I mean, can we do it? No false witnesses, my naga. That's the 9 goal. Can we do it? No power for your power. Let's start right there. And we're going to stop right here. We're going to come back to it. We got about halfway through, but you see, they talking land, and let me just play his reply, because to him, he's like, got him, I got him. He wants the United States to give him some states. And how's that going to happen, Brother X? And this is the quandary. But if they ain't talking indigenous, see, if he was talking indigenous, it'd be like, look, man, according to these treaties and these treaties, then we could flip it like this. I wish we had that mind thinking like that, instead of it just being the Islam thing, you know what I mean? Like, These were the foundations, the pillars that were necessary. The indigenous truth was necessary. The code was necessary. The frequency was necessary. The orientation is necessary. A few more.
And we can go into these states, begging him to live next door to him. We can go into these states and set up farms and feed our own people, set up factories and manufacture clothing and other utilities for our own people, set up businesses where we can make jobs for our own people. And this will keep us from having to beg him for that which he has set up for his people.
Right. In other words, then, Daily News is right in describing the movement as being an apartheid movement.
Ooh.
They compare it to South Africa, where they say the whites should be in one place and Negroes in another. It seems to me that what you're saying is pretty much the same thing.
No, sir. We don't feel that the Daily News is qualified to classify us as anything or compare us with any South African philosophy, because number one, the people in South Africa are some people who left Europe and went into Africa, a continent that is not theirs, and took it over from the black people to whom it belonged, and they are now there advocating white supremacy, which is a false doctrine. They're advocating black inferiority, which is another false doctrine. And they're basing their entire governmental system on the continued existence of a country, they're staying on a continent that they don't belong in, and also are ruling over some people that they have no authority over. We follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad advocating peaceful existence in the country, which we feel is just as much ours as the white man, and it's not his. Well, he took it from the Indians, and he can't object to us because he brought us here. We didn't come here on our own. We didn't come here voluntarily. He put us in chains and brought us here, and then worked us for nothing for 310 years without paying us one day's labor. Now, I would like to point this out, Mr. Russ. If you have 100 people who work for you for nothing for a week, you make a profit. If you have 1 million people who work for you for nothing for a year, you become wealthy. Well, then when you have millions of black people who you can work for nothing for 310 years, you can easily see why America became the most powerful country on earth faster than any country in history. But here you have 20 million black people today whose parents were worked for 310 years for nothing. What do they have coming for them? Not only did their parents work 310 years for nothing like an animal, but their parents also were the most faithful soldiers that the master had. What payment have they gotten? And today, they're not asking for much. They're not asking for someone else would ask. Instead of asking for something that's real, they're asking their master, let them occupy one of the rooms in his house, or one of the rooms with him in his house. Now, this is still not asking for something. If America gave the black man here half of this country, they wouldn't be giving us anything. They work our mothers and fathers for 310 years with no pay. The Senate, the Congress, and the U.S. Supreme Court found it necessary to appropriate funds to repay billions of dollars to the Indians for land that was taken from the Indians 300 or 400 years ago. And this generation of whites will recognize a debt incurred by the former generations of whites to the former generations of Indians, then this same generation of whites also must recognize debts incurred by the former generations of whites to you and I forefathers. And if their own courts decree that they should pay the Indians today for what was done to the former generations of Indians, don't you think that God is more just than the court system of America? And if the court system of America says that the Indians must be paid, what do you think God would say that America must do in payment to 20 million black people who work here for nothing for 310 years?
All right, I take it then that what you're really saying is that you believe that a certain section of the United States should actually be given over, and because Negroes have worked for it and deserve it, and that should be their territory. that this is your solution to the problem.
Only the solution is separation, not integration.
Now we got that clear. We can go back and build on that for me to raise some other questions with you. Now, how do you see the Negro now, and I'm on CBC, of doing away with dope and alcohol and profanity and the like? This is all good. But whether you like it or not, this is no answer to the ultimate problem which you face. Now, given the fact that Moses kept the children of Israel in the desert for 40 years in order to do away with the slave mentality and to build up a new leadership, he also had to know precisely where he was going to take them. He had to have a piece of land. Now, you have a piece of land here. Isn't there some inconsistency with your economic policy in this regard? Because it seems to me what you're saying is Negroes should own their horse. Negroes should become independent economically. Now, is this possible? Where you have Negroes spread over the country the way they are. You want them to buy land in Philadelphia, and New York, and Texas, and what good is this? What are they going to do? Then give it up and move somewhere else? And what is the psychological implications of this?
Well, first, sir, when you mentioned Moses, you mentioned the best example that you probably could have pointed out. The people that Moses was leading were probably the closest parallel to the problem confronting the so-called Negro in America than any in the Bible. Moses' people were strangers in a land that wasn't theirs. The black man in America is a stranger in a land that's not his. Moses' people had a slave mentality. And when they were found, they were worshiping gods other than their own. They were worshiping in a religion other than their own. Negro in America is the same way. He worships the white man's God, and he's following in the white man's religion. The Negro in America is in the same fix, socially, mentally, politically, economically, and spiritually, as the people whom Moses grew up amongst in so-called in Egypt 4,000 years ago. Now then, if you recall, Moses didn't advocate integration. Moses advocated separation. And nowhere in that Bible can you show me where Moses went to his people and said, believe in the same God that your slave master believes in, or seek to integrate yourself with Pharaoh. Moses' one doctrine was separation. He told Pharaoh, God told me to tell you, let my people go. By go, that meant separate. That did not mean to seek integration in the slave in the house of bondage. It did not mean to seek the acceptance of the slave master. It did not mean to seek the friendship even of the slave master. It meant that just what Moses said. Let my people go. And then he told his people, if you follow me, I will lead you to a land flowing with milk and honey. Moses never pointed out to anyone where that land was. God had instructed Moses up to that point. But Moses never told the people where he was taking them or what they would have to go through in order to get there. He said, follow me, and I'll lead you to a land flowing with milk and honey. And if you go back to the Bible, you'll find out some of them believed in him, but most of them were afraid of their slave master. They didn't believe that they could get along without Pharaoh. They didn't believe anybody could give them a job if Pharaoh didn't. They didn't believe anybody could put clothes on their back if Pharaoh. That's a slave mentality. They didn't believe that they could have an economic system free of Pharaoh. That's a slave mentality. And today the same problem confronts the so-called Negro in America. And the same problem confronts the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The same opposition that was put in the path is put in the path of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad today. You notice Pharaoh himself never opposed Moses. He always got magicians to oppose Moses. Today you find your honesty master. You don't find him opposing the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but it's Negro, so-called Negro politicians, so-called Negro preachers to work about in front of the eyes of the so-called Negro and make the so-called Negro think that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is a crazy man, just like the magicians trying to make the Hebrews think that Moses was a crazy man. They get magicians to do this work. And the magician is one who goes to the people and tries to make them think, well, this man Muhammad is crazy, he's going to get you all out here someplace and get all of them killed. But if you recall, and that's why I say I'm so glad that you mentioned that, Moses.
Ooh. Hey. His heating up. And you see that on one end, he's like, look, man, wherever we go, it's going to be better than not having nothing. And, you know what I mean? And on the other hand, he's like, look, man, what you trying to be, a rebel? You trying to be a revolutionary? Are you going against of the government? Or are you going against the interests of the people who are the America? At the end of the day, who are you opposing? And isn't an adversary opposition, and an opposition your adversary? And is that not what Satan or a devil is? Who is your devil? Who is your Satan? Who is your adversary? Who's opposing the revolution? If we're talking revolution, the true sense of the the word of complete change, He's like, Martin, Brother Malcolm, do you want complete change? Are you really a revolutionary? How much are you a revolutionary? And Malcolm's like, as much as God, or in his case, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and however much he sees, you know what I'm saying? But, we say, man, look, this direction has not been tried in any recent modern times of anything. But we put the coal back in our heart ball. And those questions, those hard questions, those where we're going to go type questions, and what we're going to do type questions, that comes with frequency. You can't even think about that or get a conclusion until you're out of the hijack's frequency, so that they are no longer affecting you. Because a hijack, the frequency can't affect you, man. Not if you are surfing the wave. You surfing the wave with us on IG, man, as well as the tube. I appreciate y'all. We give you maximum appreciation, maximum AI for your contribution, man, to keeping the water flowing. And I'm going to leave it right here. Frequency affects frequency. If you're not tuned to their hijack has zero effect on it. But the issue is most of us are more tuned to their hijack than we think. Us are more tuned to their hijack than we would even admit. Or else we wouldn't have, there wouldn't be any effect from this subject activity on us, man. Frequency affects frequency. And that's why we inmate Joey. Five Eyes Mob, take the wheel, man. Yeah, I dropped this drop on this frequency. Okay. I was wondering if it was going to load or not. I was wondering, how they do. Trying to make our net super slow. Here we go right here. I'm going to play it again. And they're going to play these 20 forks. One's in 440, the other's in, I think, 512, but focus on the point, man. The point is, if you ain't tuned to 440, the hijack ain't got no control over you. If you're not tuned to that, the hijack can't affect you. So we always knew that frequency affects frequency. But just to see it this clear, you see 440, 440. That's going to affect this little ping pong ball, right? When he hits the tuning fork. But when he does the 512, That's gonna have no effect. Big ball. Let's get it. Come on, boss. Come on, boss. Sorry, y'all, for the slow nap, man. That's what they do, man. I'm just trying to squeeze in some visuals, man, for the disc, man. All right. It's coming. Don't trip. This is a real important drop. All right. After all this talk, we gotta talk frequency, man. We gotta edit all this frequency, dog. So bear with me, man, while I pull this up. Jack standardized all musical frequency to 440 hertz. That had no effect on the ping pong ball. 440. See? Now you're affecting the ball. Look at the sound. Look at the ball. Whether it's 512, 432, any other frequency outside of 440 is not going to have no effect on the damn ball. You got to be tuned to 440. You got to be out of code. God, you got to be out of code to be affected by Hijack City. My noggin? This is some frequency. That shit has no effect on you when you're not tuned to it. So whether we're talking about our diet and the foods we eating, or, you know what I'm saying, like the air we breathe in, or our thoughts, our thought patterns, you know, don't let these people put you in this cycle of death and destruction and sad and disappointment and, you know what I'm saying, and depression, like all this stuff, man. Like, get out of their head. Get out the mind of a head of a hijack. Don't be in this chaotic mentality, because you got to be in the air mentality to be affected by the play. By the play they running. You want to see clearly, get out that 440 hertz. Get out there frequency, man. Because we've been here, boss. We've been here, boss. Right here popping off the whole time. Oh, can bring us into our promised land. And when he said we strangers on our own land, don't you feel like a stranger on your own land? You feel like a stranger now, huh? You play the con no more. You don't feel like the con no more, right? Then who are these copper-colored cons? And who are these copper-colored babies on the floor? We might come in and get the rest of this debate. I just wanted to get, you know, Dragonfly perspective on a great Malcolm X debate, and I really pray I got something out of that, man, and apply the frequency, see what they were coming with then, and with a Dragonfly perspective, you know, what's play today. And our play ain't no secret, man. We even know. You ain't gotta try to figure out what we gonna do. We keeping the code, hijack. That's the play. We're going right up the gut. We're going right up the middle. We're going right up the middle on Hijack City, man. There is no confusion. We are keeping the code. Now you tell me what you gonna do. What's your play? What you gonna do when Hawa comes for you? All praise Hawa. The water for surfing the wave, 9 above the barrier with a 9. With another Drop Nation presentation. Stay up, suit up, choose hard.